There have been many influential people who have had a profound impact on the lives of others. Their accomplishments and advocacy have helped improve the world around them, and their positive impact has earned them recognition worldwide. Rarer still, though, are the few people whose contributions have been so far-reaching that they've not only improved the plight of people, but animals as well. Mary Temple Grandin is one of these people. It takes a truly remarkable and empathetic individual to not only care for those who share similarities to you, but to also care for other living things that are other species entirely and couldn't be more different from you and I. To understand Temple Grandin's impact, it's important to know her life story. She was born in Boston in 1947 and was diagnosed with autism at an early age. Because of this, Grandin had difficulty speaking as a child, and her communication skills lagged behind that of her peers. She was recommended speech therapy by one of her doctors, and her parents did whatever they could to help her learn. They even hired a nanny when she was little, who spent their time throughout the day playing word games with Grandin and her sister to help aid her. Grandin has expressed her appreciation for her teachers, whose sympathy and encouragement helped her immensely. Unfortunately, though, many of her classmates didn't treat her with the same kindness. Today, we have a much better understanding of autism, and in no small way, Temple has contributed to that. However, being born when she was, and going to school in the 50s and early 60s, Grandin was subjected to repeated bullying and taunting by her classmates because of her inability to communicate as well with them, and she was mocked for her more limited conversational skills. This undeserved ridicule ultimately never deterred Grandin from the changes she would impart, and appropriately enough, through her contributions, she would help change people's perception of autism and those that have it. Her classmates couldn't have known it at the time, but she ultimately proved their mockery wrong. Her impressive accomplishments began almost immediately as an adult and would continue throughout her life. At only the age of 18, she invented the squeeze machine. This deep pressure device proved to be incredibly therapeutic. Growing up, Grandin would often seek out deep pressure stimulation to help calm her and relieve stress. Because of her autism, she often found people giving her hugs to be too overstimulating and uncomfortable. Her invention, however, helped reduce tension and anxiety and has proved to be remarkably effective for hypersensitive individuals. This efficacy has been supported with studies by Dr. Margaret Creedon and another in the American Journal of Occupational Therapy. In 1992, Temple Grandin published a paper herself in the Journal of Child and Adolescent Pharmacology, touting the benefits the invention had had in her personal life for 27 years at that point. Not only was this device useful for people, it also proved calming for animals as well, and was merely the tip of the iceberg in regards to Grandin's advocacy for animal welfare throughout her career. Because of her life experience with the frequent unfair treatment by others who stigmatized her autism, Grandin's natural empathy found her also seeking to fight for the better and more humane handling of animals who were also being subjected to cruel, unnecessary, and cold-hearted treatment. Her careful study of cattle behavior, particularly in response to ranchers, movement, objects, and light, helped her design blueprints for corrals, holding pens, and walkways that have proven to be effective in reducing anxiety, stress, and panic in livestock, making for a more tranquil process. Her designs helped further change how cattle are received on site, cared for, and moved. These practices and strategies have gone from being first adopted in North America to now being implemented worldwide. Not only did she push for better designed facilities with more humane treatment, she still pushes for accountability today. Her push for greater industry transparency continues, and incredibly important innovations, such as third-party remote video auditing, are only possible now because of Grandin's influential work and advocacy. Her overall worldview and promotion for the better treatment for livestock can be summarized by the title of her 2002 paper, Animals Are Not Things. In a world and society where commodification has overtaken nearly every aspect of life, Temple Grandin's words reaffirm that life is special, and even if livestock is considered property in the eyes of the law, it should still be granted fundamental protections and rights unique to it. Despite her innumerable contributions to the more humane treatment of animals, detailing that only gives you half of her story. Equally impressive and just as important has been her contributions in destigmatizing autism. She has stated that while being autistic is a part of her identity, it doesn't define her as a person. Currently, Temple is a professor of animal science at Colorado State University and has been named one of the top 10 college professors in the country by CEO World magazine. Additionally, she has had an HBO biopic made about her, has authored or co-authored more than 60 different peer-reviewed scientific studies, and has been named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in 2010. Grandin has made her mark on the world, and her breadth of accomplishments have helped cement the fact that people with autism should not be singularly defined by it, and that despite what people perceived in her as limitations as a child, she has accomplished things in her life that have had a profound impact on others and the world around her. Grandin's life story is one of countless victories and defying expectations. She lives life to the fullest and keeps on doing it passionately despite the fact that people have attempted to stifle her, particularly early in her life. While most of us have not shared her same experience with being autistic and will not go through the same struggles that she faced, Grandin's outlook on life, insight about herself, and her meaningful accomplishments are extremely inspirational. When people suffer from fear and doubt about their ability to accomplish their goals in life, they need only to look at Grandin and how she lives unapologetically, authentically, and with purpose. She's made incredible accomplishments, in spite of any of the people who tried to deter her. That's why, when you look at her life, you should be reminded to not let fear and the possibility of failure deter you from trying to have a positive impact on the world. There can be no greater summation of Grandin's contributions than this quote by her. I don't want my thoughts to die with me. I want to have done something. I'm not interested in power or piles of money. I want to leave something behind. I want to make a positive contribution. Know that my life has meaning. As another famous professor once said, we are the custodians of life's meaning. And there are few more emblematic examples of this ethos than that of the life of Mary Temple Grandin.